Hi, I'm Olivia Olley, producer for Good Idea and writer for the short film One.
And I'm Gavin Banks, I'm the director and co-writer.
One is an idea that we had a while back about what it feels like to be single in a world built for couples.
This film is actually based on the misadventures of my 40-something-year-old sister who's perpetually single.
Yeah.
Every time I would see my sister Ingrid, who our main character is named after, she would have some crazy story about something that went wrong because she didn't have enough help or because she was on her own. And what I found interesting was that it wasn't a story about a dating disaster. It was actually the mundane things of life that proved really, really funny.
So when we heard about the SEED program, we thought, let's do this. Let's do our short film about what it feels like to be single in a world full of couples.
Olivia and I have a video production company in Newcastle, New South Wales. And here we produce national commercials and corporate films. But we've been wanting to tell stories of our own for a while.
We've been looking at different opportunities to pitch our creative concepts, find ways to move our business from just being corporates into a scripted and entertainment art.
And we saw that the SEED project was a perfect vehicle for that. We have awards and great things for our commercial work, but we don't actually have any credits in the scripted space. So this was an opportunity to have some support to make a film, in terms of cash, in terms of a broadcaster, and also a funding body that could help guide us along the way.
So we very much saw SEED as an opportunity to create a calling card and propel ourselves forward in this comedy and scripted space. I loved it. I was very much in my element. There was checklists and spreadsheets and all sorts of nerdy paperwork for me just to roll out and sink my teeth into. I also had a great relationship with Create New South Wales as my direct contact. And I thoroughly enjoyed the experience, mostly because I'm used to producing content. But this time I had the opportunity to produce something that was my own story. So that was really exciting.
Yeah. For me, it was really challenging. With the commercial work and the corporate work that we do, we usually finish a film to a high degree before we even show it to a client, and we'll call it a draft, but really it's pretty close to finished. And as such, most of our work gets passed and approved without any changes or very few changes. Well, I made the mistake of not doing that with this film, probably second-guessing myself. Second-guessing some decisions and leaving a lot of stuff in there rather than really culling it down. And as a result, the film was crucified. And I was destroyed. I was destroyed. So I had to run away and put my tail between my legs and, lick my wounds and do all that. And it took a while to come round to have the courage to face the film again.
I had to pat him on the back quite a lot to say, it's okay.
Yeah.
The notes are really clear.
That's right.
Let's get in there.
We creatives get a bit precious. Anyway, had some great advice at the end of the day from Create New South Wales, where they said, follow your heart, Gavin. And, this is your film, you've got to tell a story that you believe in. And it was great because I was able to keep some of the feedback and work with some of the other feedback, make some changes, and ultimately bring the film out. And
in the end, we produced something that is very much exactly what we wrote and what we pictured. And the whole process brought us back to the focus.
Yeah. I think it's really good having a broadcaster, having a funding body, giving input. A film is going to be criticised when it's on TV. Like, people are going to look at it with a critical eye and they're going to judge it against everything else that's out there. So I think it was really great to have that feedback, as difficult it was. And next time I'll be doing a much closer fine cut before I submit anything.
A bit of a fun story for us in the making of this was how we found Nikki Britton, our lead for the short film.
Our director, writer, consultant, Vanessa Alexander, had seen her show, Nikki's show Romanticide, and suggested that we should look her up. So we sort of did the due process of checking her out,
stalking,
all that stuff. And ultimately sent her an email pouring our heart out. Oh, Nikki, you'd be awesome. Here's our script, blah, blah, blah. And then didn't hear a thing.
Nothing. And we were really sad because I couldn't picture anyone else in the film. Anyway, we had to go down to Melbourne, and I saw that at the Melbourne Comedy Festival, Nikki Britton's last show was on one of the first nights we have in town. So I thought, you know what, she might not like us, she might hate the script, but let's go see the show and let's see if we can kind of wrangle some sort of deal where she can jump on board and be in our film.
So we watched the show, it was great, really fun, and very much along the lines and the spirit of the film we were making. And we walked up to her afterwards and said, "Hey Nikki, it's Gavin and Olivia. We sent you an email, some Newcastle filmmakers."
Anyway, she said, "Oh my God, I love you guys. I love the script. I haven't heard back from you. I didn't think you want me in the show anymore." And we thought, what? Where is that email? Where is that? What? Anyway, so she said, let's do this. I'm really keen. I have very limited availability before I go overseas, but please let's talk next week and set up a date.
Nikki filmed only days before leaving to go on an overseas trip, 4 months away, touring Europe. And so we didn't have an opportunity to do any pickups for the film. So what you'll be able to, well, the question is, can you see where we've done pickups in the film? Can you tell what is Nikki and what's not Nikki?
We only had her for a day before she flew out, so we had to be very clear on the shots that we needed and how to pull that together. So you will see a lot of close-ups of my hands angled so you can't see that I don't have the same hands as Nikki Britton. Another little fun fact about how we made the short film one is in the budget and how we structured the budget.
We sought some funding in the form of a grant from an organisation in Newcastle called Newcastle Now.
Basically, Newcastle Now made us jump through a ton of hoops to prove that a short film was worthwhile to the Newcastle community, to us as a business, and to the greater region of the Hunter.
So we're really ambitious, and our desire as regional filmmakers is to be able to make content locally, and this was the first step along that direction.
So it was really beautiful to marriage the grant from Create New South Wales and the ABC, marry that with Newcastle Now's support and be able to put the people on the film who were really passionate about being involved with us. Living in regional New South Wales is a little bit tough because we're not that close to the metro cities, but this is a program that helps bridge that gap and helps fund you and helps you explore your ideas and your creativity.
Regional stories are really important, but I also think the supporting of regional filmmakers, because we come from the regions doesn't mean we don't have something to say that is of international significance. So get out there. I'd encourage you to do it, and if you're not going to do it, watch them. I think the series is going to be really great.